welcome back to our channel. Sorry we were not around last week, but we had a few technical difficulties because we're newbies.
Still newbies.
So sorry about that.
Sorry, the new video.
But it is what it is. So
gotta do what we gotta do.
Yep. Today is Kaylor's case, so take it away, Kaylor.
Thank you, Renee. So this one is, I was stuck between two cases, and this one, I guess, it was like the universe speaking to me, because I was scrolling on TikTok like any normal people do, except for her, because she doesn't have TikTok.
Yeah, no, not going down there at all, sorry.
And this case popped up on my page. I mean, your phone, if you type in something, it's going to show up on anywhere, whatever. So I guess this is the way that's like, talk about this one. So this one is creepy, weird, and horrible.
Dun, dun, dun.
So in this one, we're going to be talking about, there was a dog hair flying in my face. We're going to be talking about murder, of course, but of a pregnant woman and children. So that doesn't float your boat, go whatever you want to call it. Fine. Go watch one of our other videos and check back in next week or so whenever a new one comes out. So, let's get into this one.
She's like, this is so weird.
It is.
Okay. Horrible. Not to change the subject, but I had to go clean my hair salon today, and we just got back from that.
Yeah.
Woo! No, didn't do anything. I've been cleaning and mopping, so here I am.
You know you have a good hairstylist when they look like this.
I always say it's not about what I look like, it's about what you look like. But anyways,
let's get into this one. So when I was doing the research on this case, the podcast I listened to and the stuff that I read about, that these are victims, but they're not the victims of the murder. They had two different names. Like it was Annie and Jennifer, and then this one is Tina and Karen. So from everything I've read, I'm just gonna go off of Tina and Karen. So Tina's the oldest and Karen is the youngest. I also heard they were two different ages too, but I'm just kind of gonna go with what I read the most about. So Tina was a 15-year-old girl who, any normal 15-year-old girl, she's in school, whatever. And one day she gets a phone call from a guy that said that she was really cute and pretty and everything, and he really liked her, and he apparently didn't go to the same school as her.
Oh, that's what I was fixing to ask. I was like, okay, is this a kid like from her school or something?
So the kid is actually a kid. He's about the same age as her, and he didn't go to the same school as him, but he described himself as blonde, blue eyes, like a football player, like all this. So they just kept talking back and forth, and he asked her to go on a date, and she was like, yeah, sure. So come in, or whatever. She goes in and answers the door. It's not the cute blonde football player.
Of course not.
It's this lanky, greasy hair, weird, acne face kid. And Tina, just being the sweetheart that she is, she agreed to, go on the date with the guy. She's already committed, so she's like, yeah, sure. So they go to a local fair that was happening around the town. And
here's my, like, if you're going to go meet this person, why are you going to tell them that you look any different than you do? Like, you're fixing to go meet them. They're going to see you. So why are you on the phone or the computer catfishing somebody that, is fixing to see you anyway? Mm-hmm. Like, that makes no sense to me.
I don't understand the whole catfishing thing.
And I'm sorry, but if you're going to catfish somebody, there's something wrong with you anyway. So, like, if you called me and was like, oh, I look like Henry Cavill, and I'm like, because he's my favorite, but like, oh, I look like Henry Cavill, and then you show up and you look like Henry Cavill's fourth removed, redneck cousin. Like, I don't, I'm going to be like, dude, there's something wrong with you to do that in the first place, so peace out.
Yeah.
I'm not going anywhere with you.
I mean, from the photos of this guy, he's not good looking. Like, bless his heart.
I mean, but just be honest, man,
So, I mean, you'll figure out about this kid and everything that had happened to him. But, so they're on this date, and he just is so weird. And bless Tina's heart, her mother actually passed away of cancer. I'm not sure what type of cancer, but she was young. She was, from what I read and heard, she was about 35 years old. Her mother was.
So young.
Yeah. So it was just in the house. I mean, living was her father, her, and her sister. So, I mean, the dad was trying his best and everything. He was working nights, and he was just working a lot. He wasn't around for the daughters as much as he wanted to, but he's trying to survive without his wife.
Right.
So on the date, the guy keeps asking her about her mother's death, like wanting to know how she felt afterwards, like what her mother was going through, how much she suffered, like her mother suffered before she died. Like, he was just being weird. So she got out of there.
That's weird.
Because of all that, she got out of there. So fast forward, I'm not sure how many nights or days or whatever, but because of that interaction with that guy, she really wanted to connect more with her mother. So her and her sister decided to have to get a Ouija board and perform a seance downstairs in their basement of their house. So they, do the whole thing, trying to, get in contact with their mother.
I mean, okay, here again, we always say to each his own, whatever. But, like, I don't believe in that stuff. Here we go again. Like, I don't believe in the Bigfoot and the aliens. Like, I don't believe in the spirit thing and all the... Like, you watch these ghost shows and they're like, they never find a thing. They don't see anything. It's a piece of dust floating across the screen. Like, I just don't...
No, I do. Side story to this. I worked at FedEx. I'm just going to say that. There's so many FedEx around there and whatever. I worked at FedEx, and I worked in a facility. I drove a forklift. I worked there for 7 years. And there was one night I was at our building that I was working in by myself. I was there by myself. I was in phlebotomy school, and I needed to get away somewhere quiet where I can do my studying because my test was coming up. And there again, I was by myself, and I'm sitting there, and you hear in the hallway, it was in the office, and in the hallway, it was a long hallway, went down to the break room. You can literally hear heavy boots. Like, I heard somebody walking down the hallway. And I, looked out there thinking maybe, one of the truck drivers showed up or whatever. But it was a Saturday. Like, there's nobody there on Saturday. There was somebody walking around out there. I'm telling you. It scared the crap out of me. I had so many experiences.
I would literally have to see something to believe it.
Let's go ghost hunting.
I would love to go on a ghost tour or whatever. Like, I would love to do that. But the thing is, even if what I'm getting at is, even if the stuff is real, okay, you ain't with a Ouija board, you ain't contacting your mom, okay? You're contacting demons from hell. Let's not, seriously. I get missing your loved one and wanting to talk to them again or whatever, but no, I'm not messing with a Ouija board. Sorry.
I wouldn't mind doing that.
I'm getting you all off.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay, go ahead.
So they try to contact their mother, and from what there's two different areas with this story, everything. Apparently that, the father, he interrupted the whole thing. So anybody who knows when you're doing a Ouija board, you have to say goodbye. Apparently that cuts it off. If you don't, then it's pretty much you left the gates open. Mm-hmm. You have to say goodbye and close it. I heard that the father interrupted them and they never got to say goodbye, but none of this is what's going to happen is true. Whatever. So, time goes on, and later on in the nights, they hear like tapping on the walls and on the doors. And then like stuff would be moved. So they would have like, you know, a teddy bear sitting here, and then the next thing they know, it's moved over here. So stuff is moving. They've noticed like food's gone missing in the refrigerator and just things like that. And so like Tina thought it was her mother. So she kept asking, you know, if this is you, whatever.
This figured out already. I think I have this figured out already. Anyway, keep going.
She was like, you know, if this is you, like, Mom, if this is you, you know, answers, if you heard taps and knocks and bangs and all this. And then, so as time goes on, they're thinking it's, you know, their mother. And the father is like, no, it's not. And he's thinking that this is their way of acting out because he's not around and they're, you know, trying to get attention from him or whatever.
Yeah, I get that.
So he sends them to therapy, you know, to get some, you know, help or whatever. And everything starts calming down at the house. All that stuff stops. Until there was writing on the wall, and I think it was a wall or a mirror, that says, "I'm back, come find me." And then there's other writings that says, "I'm in your room, like, come find me," like all this. And apparently it was written in blood. Come to find out, it was actually written in ketchup. Because I think the father called the police, and the police came out there and investigated, and they're like, this is ketchup. So time goes on still, and one day they hear like knocking and banging again, and it freaks the girls out. So they go downstairs, and there's a picture of Tina, like a photo of her, on the wall, stabbed with the butcher knife. So the girls freak out, and they run out, and they run to a neighbor, and they were afraid, you know, for the neighbor to call, you know, the dad, because they didn't want the dad to think it was them again. After the many times they're like, it's not us, it's not us, it's not us. So they call the dad comes home, and he goes and he's searching the house, and he goes upstairs to his bedroom, and written on the mirror is blood, it's ketchup, "Marry me." So, and he says, I've heard two different things with this. I heard that, you know, he opened the closet, or the person was standing in the corner. So, and I also heard like two different clothing, but I'm going to go with what I've heard the most. So, either you open the closet or the person standing there, but you see somebody standing, let's say this one, he's standing in the corner, and they're wearing a white wedding dress, and it's their mother's wedding dress, and a blonde wig. So like the father was like stunned, like, what? Yeah. So he like says, I can't remember the mother's name, and I wish I wrote it down in my notes, but I didn't. And he says the mother's name and turns around and takes off the wig, and it's a guy with like white and black just paint all over their face, and he's got a hatchet. So,
see the bride in the haunted mansion.
So the person holding the hatchet is the guy we're going to be talking about. His name is Daniel Laplante, and Daniel Laplante was born May 15th, 1970 in Townsend, Massachusetts, and he lived with his mother and his stepfather. So Daniel's childhood and upbringing was not the greatest. He was actually essayed by his stepfather. And as time went on, you know, they sent him to psychiatrists and everything. And the psychiatrist was a POS because he essayed Daniel too. Mm-hmm. So he just could never catch a break with anything that happened to him. And he actually suffered from emotional damage and everything because of the assault that happened to him by his father and psychiatrists, and just men in his life, pretty much. Any family member, men, kind of just did horrible things to him. He struggled with school, and he was diagnosed with dyslexia at an early age. He attended St. Bernard High School in Fitchburg, where he was described by both students and teacher as a loner, and he was just odd and didn't really make any friends. Like, he was just kind of like,
it'd be hard to trust somebody though after all that stuff happened to you as a kid. You'd be like, I don't know if I want to be around people or not.
Yeah.
You know, they might hurt me or whatever. I understand that.
I don't know if it was,
I mean, not personally, but I get it, you know.
it just sucks being by yourself and a loner
Yeah.
and everything. It just comes to a point. So the psychiatrist that actually assaulted Daniel is the same one that diagnosed him with hyperactive disorder. Just with his strange everything that happened to him and just how he is and just a loner and all that stuff, his behavior, he soon became a criminal. So he began breaking into homes in the neighborhood across his hometown, stealing belongings and breaking and like just doing whatever. He also, he was arrested at the age of 15 for breaking in, entering, burglarizing and everything. He stole jewelry, money, just stuff like that. And he actually started messing with the people too by moving stuff like he did. So he would, like I said, move stuff, and he would leave stuff behind too. Like, you know, I never bought this candle. Why is this candle here? Like, I don't know if it was stuff that he stole from other houses that he started leaving at.
It probably was. He's probably getting a bunch of stuff just rearranged,
Yeah.
Leaving it at other people's houses from somebody else.
Mm-hmm. So, in 1986, he developed an obsession with Tina Bowen. So, if you haven't already connected the dots, the man that was in the house, not a man, he was a boy, was Daniel. So, Daniel,
I connected the dots about
Yeah.
30 minutes ago. But anyway.
Daniel broke into the house, I guess. I don't know if it was when nobody was there or after the date with her and everything. And he was living in a crawl space no wider than 6 inches, and he would spy on the family. Also, he would like cut little peepholes in the walls to watch them. So he would know like things and stuff like that. So he was the one that was behind the baiting on the walls, the TV channel changing, moving stuff around the rooms and everything, and eating the food out of the pantry and the fridge. Things like milk cartons were nearly empty at night, haven't been like full that morning. So he just wanted to do all that stuff.
That's so creepy.
Yeah.
Could you imagine, like, you're just sleeping and there's some creepy dude in your kitchen, like, drinking your orange juice while you're asleep? What?
Yeah, and that the whole time, Tina and her sister Karen thought it was their mom.
Yeah.
Come to find out, it's just creepy Daniel.
Like I said, that still ain't true. But anyway.
But he would, write the stuff on the wall. Like, he wrote, "Marry me," and he wrote, "I'm in your room, come find me. I'm back." Like, things like that. So the father, found him and everything, and when he saw Daniel and all that stuff, he took off running, the father did, and, like, I don't know why. Here's my thing. Oh, you could tell that we were both white. That is some white people shit what this man's about to do. I would have ran out of that house and never looked back. He apparently ran down the stairs and, like, turned back to look at him. Why? No, that is some white people shit. You run.
I wouldn't have turned back.
No.
Why? I'd have kept running.
No, so he, like, turns back and looks at him, and he's still following him, Daniel is, with the hatchet, but he's walking, like, he's not chasing him, he's, like, walking slowly. Like, chicken skin, like, oh my gosh.
So weird.
And so, his father gets out of there, and Daniel apparently he, like, gets out of there too, but they ended up finding him and arresting him. So, he was arrested and everything. But he was held in a juvenile detention center or facility, until October of 1987 when his mother remortgaged her house to pay his $10,000 bail.
Oh, good grief. I'm going to go back a couple steps, though. Because what's funny is, Kaylor just said, oh, he was arrested or whatever. And the dad ran out of the house. I looked up and my husband's over here on the couch.
What did he do? I didn't
He's
see
going.
it.
And I was thinking the same thing. Dude wouldn't have got far. And he wouldn't have been arrested.
It would have been a
He would have been at the funeral home later on. Anyway.
Anyways, so while awaiting trial, now he is 17 years old. He moved home and he continued his
Burglarizing.
Yeah, burger. He's a burger now.
And medium rare. Yeah, he's medium rare because his brain didn't finish developing and all this shit he's doing.
So on October 14th, 1987, Daniel stole a .22 caliber firearm from a neighbor's house.
And of course, this is all while he's out on bail. Yeah.
On October 16th, between 11:30 a.m. and 3:30 p.m., he burglarized the home of. I'm so sorry how I pronounce this last name, and I'm gonna do my best. It's oh my gosh. Gustafsson. That's how you say it. Family. Stealing multiple items from the home, including a cordless phone, 2 cable boxes, a cable TV remote controlling devices, and some coins from a Liberty silver dollar collection.
Okay, so you're just stealing remotes because you just think that they're not, oh, let's steal their remote, so then they have to
get up and turn it.
Yeah.
Go back.
I'm gonna make these bitches get up and turn their TV.
On December 1st, 1987, 33-year-old Priscilla Gustafsson, that's how I think, a nursery school teacher pregnant with her 3rd child, was last seen picking up her 5-year-old son, William, from a babysitter around 1 p.m. Returning home, she found Daniel, I guess, burglarizing the place. Daniel had walked the half-mile from the woods that separated his home from her house and was armed with one of the .22 firearms. 22 caliber firearm that he had stolen a few weeks prior. He confronted Priscilla with the gun and forced her and her 5-year-old son into the bedroom, where he shoved William into the closet. He then tied Priscilla to the bed using a makeshift, whatever that is. He made one tie her to the bed before gagging her with one of his socks, one of his own socks. He then proceeded to her, as some of the people I've heard, rope her, before shooting her twice in the head at close range through one of the pillows from the bed. Yeah, this is where it gets bad right here too. Daniel then pulled William out of the closet and brought him down the hall to the bathroom and proceeded to drown him in the bathtub.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Way to go, Mom, for bailing him out.
Yeah, for real. You're such a good mom, Daniel, Mom. Like,
I mean, this ain't funny by no means,
no,
but like, dude.
Mm-hmm. So, on his way out of the door, 7-year-old Abigail was coming home from school. She was getting off of the school bus. And he then dragged her into this is their other child, and dragged her into the bathroom downstairs and began beating, and he drowned her in the bathtub downstairs as well. Priscilla's husband, Andrew, arrived home from work and found her body, immediately called the police when they quickly connected it to Daniel. So, I mean, thank goodness the police, did something pretty fast with that. And a manhunt was put out for Daniel, and he was actually caught and arrested 2 days later after that. Apparently, I also heard that, they found him in a dumpster somewhere. I don't know, sleeping in a dumpster. Who knows? The kid's
I
weird.
wouldn't have passed him. He's living in somebody's wall.
Mm-hmm.
Or up in their attic, or whatever the hell he was doing, poking holes and watching people.
Yeah.
Weirdo.
When I think about him living in the wall, I think about that movie, The Boy. You remember that? Where she had to watch after that doll, but it was actually the guy that was living in the wall.
Yep.
Yeah, this is kind of giving that vibe of it. But the guy's like, this guy's weirder. So they arrested him, and he was sentenced to 3 consecutive life sentences for the murder of Priscilla and the children. He actually attempted to sue the courts, as multiple attempts had to have his sentence reduced, but they didn't. They were like, nah. Later at a hearing, a forensic psychiatrist determined that Daniel should be kept in prison as he lacked empathy and remorse for the murder. So apparently he didn't, whatever. But I also heard that, he did end up writing a letter or writing whatever, saying, I'm so sorry for what I did.
He ain't sorry.
The thing is
Bullshit.
that I bet you his lawyer was like, you need to do this. Like, you need to show,
Either that
whatever.
or he was just trying to get his sentence reduced. Like, if I do this and I act like I'm, upset and sorry about all this stuff, and then next time I appeal, maybe I can get my sentence reduced.
Like, he's trying to make himself look like a changed person when he's not.
I mean, I'm sorry, but if you're going to hide in somebody's walls and then, R-word a pregnant woman and kill her other children,
So,
no.
you don't need to be to see the light
I
of
don't
day.
care if you're sorry or not. You did it.
Yeah.
Done story.
Done. You're over. Bye. Get out of my face.
Mm-hmm.
So he tried to appeal, his reduced sentence, and I don't know if he did it again, but in 2017 he tried this too. And the judge, said that no, he's still no remorse or whatever. So Daniel is actually still alive, and he's still in prison. He is now 53 years old, and he's waiting another 7 years before he is eligible for a parole hearing again. So I don't know if that's 7 years from now, or I couldn't really find the date of when all this, but I do know that he is 53 years old, and he's waiting. So let's say he was 17 when all this, he was like 15, 16, 17 in between there when all this happened. Like he was 15 when he was found hiding in the walls of the house. But that was Daniel.
Yeah, they're not going to let him out. If they've had him that long,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if he keeps trying to appeal, they're just going to keep ignoring it.
Yeah. I just think it's
He'll probably spend the rest of his life in there. They won't let him out. And I'm glad they won't.
Yeah.
But, this is what makes me mad. And even if it is your kid, and I understand, I have a child. I get it. You want to do anything and everything for them, take the hurt away, try to push them down the right path and
push him down the stairs.
Yeah.
So that's where I went.
Lead them down the right path, make them do right, keep them away from hurt and, mistakes and all the things. But, of course you can't. They have to make mistakes sometimes. But if your child is going through this and he's broke into houses and he's chased some guy with a hatchet and all this stuff and they've arrested him, why would you bail him out? I know it's your kid, but there's got to be consequences.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you bail them out and then they go do worse.
Yeah.
It's like that woman and her kids, if he would just been in prison, they would still be here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I
don't understand how he went from just living in somebody's crawl space of a house to murder.
I think it's like, okay, I've done this, and now I'm going to go to jail, so, F it. I'm just going to, you know, make it worse. Like, let's go, you know, kill some people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, they just take it to the next level. And it's like, if they weren't out, that wouldn't have happened.
No.
And then it happens even in other things when, you know, they've done all this stuff and the court system lets them out.
Mm-hmm.
And then they do it again, or they do worse. And it's like, no.
No.
I mean, you're going to start letting people out. Let people out that, like, smoke pot. Like, you know what I mean? Like, who cares? Like, keep them murderers in there, man.
I know. Honestly, this kid, I just can't get over him living in, I don't know how long he stayed in the house for. I guess my best guess would probably be a couple weeks. If I find the answer, I'll put it here. But, I mean, here's my thing. Okay, he's 15 years old. How is his mother not being like, where the hell fuzzy is he?
I mean, you got parents that don't pay attention.
I mean,
you know?
it's the 80s, man. I guess.
It was, you know, you were allowed to go and do things and go ride your bike and be gone until the street lights came on back then. It wasn't like it is today, and you're worried about getting kidnapped and sex trafficked and whatever else there, you know. It just wasn't like that. So, I mean, we were more back then on our own than, you know, kids are now. But still, I mean, my mom would have noticed if I was like 15 and gone half the time and wasn't in bed and, you know, like.
Yeah, because, like, he would knock on the walls and everything in the middle of the night. So he was there. He was sleeping in there. And, like, they found the crawl space where he was living at, and it was, like, a small little one. And there's, like, a photo, like, maybe put in this thing, I don't have to show you, but somebody, like, showed, like, did a drawing of, like, where in the area that he would, like, have. But, like, you would put holes in the wall and watch them.
That's so weird.
I'm like, ugh.
I'm sorry, but if I was those girls' dad, and like I said, you know, earlier in the video, if I was those girls' dad and I came in and there was some freak in there wearing my wife's wedding dress and a wig, oh, right between the eyes, man, you're going down.
You're going down.
No, that's just too much.
Oh yeah, here it is. Over the course of several weeks in the late fall, yeah, he did. So it was like weeks he was living in the house, living in that area.
That's just so creepy.
I know. Like,
I mean, I've seen TV shows, like, you know, of course we'll go back to Criminal Minds again because they get their stuff from a lot of real cases and kind of, you know, twist it around a little bit. But I think I've seen an episode of, it might have been Criminal Minds or something else, where there was somebody living in the attic of somebody's house and he was watching them. He had put in cameras or something, like in their light fixtures and stuff, and was like watching them all the time.
mm-hmm.
That's
so
just weird.
Weird. That guy's weird. I don't know if it was just because he, you know, was pissed at her for, you know, dumping her at the date, and he was just like, you know,
Well, I mean, I think he was weird anyway, because why is he asking her, like, you know, how did you feel when your mom died? How much did she suffer? Who wants to know how much a person suffers?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
So he was off his rocker from all the abuse he suffered already.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think it had anything to do with her personally.
Yeah. But that was Daniel Laplante.
Weird.
I know, this one was weird,
What a
strange, living in, because I'm just like, you just think, and it's like, oh my gosh, like, there could be somebody in that closet right over there, and you never know.
They better not be, because in my house, I'd be going down.
Yep. Because I have a crawl space downstairs. I wonder if, because it's about that big, if I'm thinking, like that little, I have like a bookshelf that slides out, and it's a wall that runs down there. Ooh, no, I'm not gonna pull it out and look. No. Yeah,
Is somebody in there?
There's somebody in there. I'll be showing my light on my. Yeah, that was him. And creepy.
Yeah,
and
that's
everything.
weird.
Check your closets. Check your little areas.
For real.
And check it strapped.
Yep.
Don't, and then here's another thing. If somebody's coming after you, don't stop and look back. Keep running.
Yeah. For real.
And don't trip on anything.
Yeah, this ain't a horror movie. This ain't Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I know.
Running and falling like 900 times before they get.
It's the hot blonde girl that's like running and trips and falls. After the teenagers hook up in the bedroom, that's when they get murdered. Every horror movie.
Yeah.
It's teenagers that are like partying or whatever, and like a couple hooks up, and next thing you know, they're dead.
Yep. Every time.
So don't just don't hook up. Don't. What's that called? Abstinence? No, that's not the word. Where you don't do the
abstinence.
Abstinence.
Yeah.
Study that. Practice that. And you'll stay alive in a horror movie.
Right.
But yeah, that was him. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. I hope you got chicken skin. That's what I call it, or goosebumps, whatever, from that. Because that is just creepy to think that somebody's been in your house. I mean, even if, somebody has broken in and, they left, it's still weird to think that somebody's been in your house. And it's, because, your home's like, I call it like home base.
Yeah.
Like this is
you
your...
feel violated if somebody was in there that you didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Hope you enjoyed that one too.
That was weird.
Did you find it a little creepy?
Yeah, but I figured it out pretty early. I just didn't say anything.
She figures out stuff so fast.
I figure stuff out so easy.
She's so not...
I watched like the first 10 minutes of the show and I'm like,
I know who did it. Every time.
Every time.
I hate it. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this one. And if you didn't, well, screw you.
Sorry.
And the dogs are riled up now. So we better end this real quick. Anyways, we'll see you guys in our next video when it's Renee's turn. And I can't wait to hear what hers is about because she does good ones. So
Thanks for hanging out with us today. And we'll see you on our next one.
Bye. Bye.